Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, we settle $1 million bet.
Cha-ching!
You saying that because you think you're going to win? It's dangerous to go alone, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society goes with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. How's it going, Mark?
Patrick, it is going so good.
Swimmingly?
Swimmingly.
Yep.
I'm already counting on this $1 million bet, so I've bought, as you can see, these solid gold gaming gloves.
I was going to ask about the gaming gloves because I've never seen you wear or use the phrase gaming gloves before, but they are gold. They're very striking.
They're gold, so of course I don't have to touch game controllers like a poor person.
That's right.
Because after tonight, I no longer will be poor.
Now, I just to catch people up, we made a $1 million bet based on our 2018 New Year's resolutions. We are going to review them a little bit later in the episode, determine who did the best job of keeping their resolutions, and the loser owes the winner
$1 million.
$1 million.
I, of course, can barely remember what my resolutions were, so...
Yes, I'm in the same boat.
I'm just assuming that I've accomplished everything I set my mind to.
Well, and because, this maybe is just reflective of our mindsets, I have already taken out some loans so that I can afford to pay the $1 million that I expect I will have to give to you. I've also sold everything that I've ever owned and come up way shy of $1 million.
Well, I'm just counting on that age-old phrase, pride comes before the $1 million. So
it's exactly how the saying goes.
Can't wait.
But you know what else comes before $1 million?
Sonic Forces.
Sonic Forces. If you would like to borrow my copy of Sonic Forces, you should email us at Nintendo Cartridge Society at
gmail.com.
I put this thing in the mail. It gets to you or gets towards you. I don't know. I trust the mail, I guess. And then you play it for as long as you want, and then you send it back, and I pay for the return postage.
No cost to you.
None. Here's something that also won't cost you anything. You should email us to help us determine which franchise has the best presence in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. How many franchises are in this game, Mark? Like 1 million?
At least.
At least 1 million. So you should get in there, tell us why Metal Gear has the best presence in this game, or why there's no way we should count Earthbound as being an impressive contributor.
Yeah,
to
maybe
Smash
you
Ultimate.
really love that polar bear in Ice Climbers.
Yeah, that polar bear is great. I would support that play 100%.
And you gotta get your thoughts into us fast, because 1 week from today we're releasing this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And we recorded even sooner than that. So you
Right.
have precious few days.
You got to do it. Look, if you're like, I'll get to it later this weekend. No, you get to it now.
Remember, it's a new year.
Yeah.
Fresh starts. Procrastination was so 2018.
Right. You're not into that anymore.
You're a go-getter.
And
You're
look-
active.
And look, I'm bad at resolutions. I think this is something that we've already established. I'm going to fall back on old patterns, which means I'm just going to say Mega Man contributed the best to this if you don't stop me. So do your part. Get in there, send us an email, Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com, and let us know. We got an email, actually, about a previous episode that we did, which is now a couple weeks ago at this point. Our ranking from or when we put the Mario characters into tiers, we got an email from listener Colin. Colin says, fellas, once again, listening to the development of a list unfold before my ears was both equally enjoyable and painful. IMO, in my opinion, a fair concession could be to move Rosalina and Toad up to B tier while moving all the Ds up to C, effectively eliminating one tier. We liked having that D tier. I needed it.
Yeah. I mean, we had a tier below D tier, didn't we?
We had trash tier. Yeah,
trash tier. But Rosalina did end up in C tier, along with Toad.
Right.
Which
Toad started in A tier.
a mite controversial.
And then we moved him down, and then we moved him down. Colin goes on to say, I think there's an incredibly strong case to move Luigi down to B as well and move Toad to A. He says, I challenge you to answer these questions. Now, we've got some numbered questions here, Mark. Are you ready to answer them?
I am.
Okay, question number 1. Importance. How many core entries in the Mario series has Toad played a bigger role than Luigi? How many?
I mean, what is that, like, in what way?
Well, okay. We can, games where they are both playable characters.
Toss those out,
Toss
right?
those out. So just Mario 2 and Super Mario 3D World.
Look, I mean, like, if you're playing the second player in the Super Mario Brothers,
Yeah.
Luigi's the one who saves the princess.
He could be, yeah. I mean, in any of these cases, if you are a little brother, Luigi is an A tier character all the way.
Yeah, it's equally important.
And I think, like, maybe what he's driving at is like Super Mario 64. There are Toads in that game, but there is no Luigi.
Oh, I mean, I think he has a really solid point.
Oh, okay. Because it seemed like you were arguing against it.
Well, sure, but that was just to determine the strength of the argument, and I think we found it to be very sound.
Okay. Number 2, relevance. What is the name of the kingdom where the Mario series takes place?
Mushroom Kingdom.
Luigi Kingdom, we all know this. Number 3, cuteness. Let's be honest with ourselves here. This is a fair point.
Well, I think this is just a matter of taste.
About Toad? Toad is a cute character.
Toad, I mean, but like Luigi's cute in his own way. Some people like awkward guys.
Yeah, no, and I won't argue with you there.
He's a wallflower.
I think in terms of
with a
cute,
little bit of an attitude.
I don't think anyone is going to put Luigi and Toad up against each other and say we need to debate which one of these is cuter than the other. I think he's just saying to move Toad up, we must take his cuteness into consideration.
I mean, that's fair.
That is fair. I think we just got a little bit gun shy about including 3 different Toad characters in the same tier. Right?
I think you're right.
Because we can also agree that Toadette and Captain Toad are cuter Toads than Toad.
Yes, for sure. Which means they are cuter than Luigi. But
yes.
Cuteness isn't the only factor.
No, although
we're tempering ourselves.
We do lean on cuteness a lot. I will refer you to our Pokemon starter conversation. And then point number 4, consistency. I urge you not to let nepotism influence your opinion of Luigi. He should be a tier below Mario, just the same as Waluigi is a tier below Wario. He is absolutely the Donnie Wahlberg of the equation, who has the name recognition, but is in a different celebrity status from Mark.
I mean,
Wahlberg.
Oh,
not
from
that.
You. Colin has hidden us with a lot of really good points.
I don't know. Here's the thing. Waluigi's relationship to Wario, I feel like that comes nowhere near the relationship between Mario and Luigi.
I mean, I think that's fair, but his point that how many Toad games are there? Well, no, how many? There
none?
are no
there are no Toad
like
games.
straight up Toad games.
There's a Captain Toad game,
and which that's part of the reason why. Well, actually, no. The reason why we put him up is because he's so adorable.
He's so cute.
But having a game strengthens that adorableness.
Right, a game that was released on 3 different Nintendo platforms.
Luigi has a game.
He's got a series, yeah, and he had the old Mario is Missing, which was a Luigi only game. Not a good game.
And there was also like New Super Luigi Brothers U or whatever it was called.
Yeah, the brother isn't in there.
Oh, gotcha. Just New Super
Luigi.
There was a year of Luigi.
There was a whole year of Luigi.
Okay. I talked myself around into agreeing with our list again. I will say, however, I don't think we said it was definitive.
Oh, that's I don't know. I don't remember what we said in regards to the definitiveness of those character rankings.
If you remember, if we made that list definitive or not, let us know.
You can write to us at Nintendo Cartridge Society
at gmail.com.
Here's the thing. I do think that Rosalina was too low on our list, and I didn't fight hard enough for her.
That's right. It was totally your fault.
You just totally abdicated any responsibility.
Who, me?
I don't know why I've got a low status in this episode. I don't think I like it. All right, Mark, let's move into our main topic here and talk about our New Year's resolutions from 2018.
Sorry, just a second. I've invited my extended family into the room so they can see me get the oversized $1 million check.
Well, okay. Can you tell that I've got that folded up in my pants pocket?
I mean, you are sitting tilted extremely to one side.
I mean, it's a thick cardboard, first of all. But second of all, if I had to fold it like 30 times.
Did it take you and Sarah, like, putting all of your weight onto it?
That's right. We had to bring it out to the street and, like, run the car over it to fold it.
Well, thank you for your effort.
You are welcome. So $1 million is on the line. We each made 4 resolutions for 2018. I think maybe what we should do is just introduce the resolution and then talk about whether or not we achieved it, in what way we achieved it, and in what way we are perfect at achieving resolutions. I will go first.
Okay.
My first resolutions was fighting games. Get good, go to Evo, follow event hubs, and just commit to a fighting game. I did not get good. I did not go to Evo. I maybe went to event hubs a couple times. I would say that I did not achieve this one, even though there was a fighting game that I was very excited about that came out this last year. A bunch. But I'm referring specifically to Pocket Rumble. I played Pocket Rumble for less than a weekend and then didn't pick it up again.
If you did like a tag cloud of all of the show tags, we did in our first like 2 years, Pocket Rumble would be very prominent. We talked about Pocket Rumble a lot.
It would be up there with Wario's Woods and Star Tropics.
And longtime listeners know that means we talked about it a lot.
But yeah, outside of Smash Brothers here at the end of the year, and when we were like kind of doing research into other Smash-like games, I would say that I have not spent a ton of time playing fighting games this year. So I would say I did not accomplish this one.
So my first resolution was, let me see here, defeat backlog.
Yeah. How's that going? How's your backlog, Mark?
Oof. It's gotten worse.
Oh, your mother just stormed out of my apartment.
Mom! No, it's just the first resolution. There's still so many more to go.
Okay, well, we'll see if the rest of your family sticks around as we keep going. What was in your backlog? What was like holding you up that made you think I should make this a resolution? Do you even remember?
No, I don't even really remember. Like I didn't finish like SteamWorld Dig 2.
Yeah.
I never finished Golf Story. Like, these are all games that I enjoyed, and part of it was like I didn't want to buy games and not finish them and just like continually buy them.
Yeah.
But that definitely happened all over the place this year. Like there are so many, like I really, really, really enjoy Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, but I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
If anything, my backlog has just like expanded exponentially this year.
Right. Okay. So far we are 0-0. So here's my next one. Resolution number 2: use creation tools. So this was in regards to specifically, I was looking forward to the release of Dreams on PlayStation 4. That game never came out. It will still come out someday. And some sort of like new release of Mario Maker was something I was like looking forward to and thinking that I would get to use those user generated creation tools in a game. Neither of those games came out, so I'm not going to say that the system failed me, because I could have gone back to my Wii U, or I could have played Mario Maker on the 3DS.
And RPG Maker Fez came out for, or maybe just RPG Maker came out for the 3DS.
Yeah. I did not make anything in a video game this year.
What about Labo? Does Labo count?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Do you think it does?
No, but
I mean, because that's pretty prescriptive creation.
Yeah.
I used no creativity in any video game that I played this year. None. And I mean, Labo actually is an opportunity to use it for, like, there's the Labo Garage and like all of that like programming and logic stuff. I didn't even really play the Labo piano that much, and I'm a musician. Like I just did not use any of the creation tools that were put in front of me this year.
We did play Wii Music this past year.
We did do that. I don't want to count that. I had fun playing Wii Music with you for the afternoon that we did that.
And it's not really creation per se.
Sort of remixing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So my second one. So we're saying no for that.
Yeah.
All right. So things are looking up.
Your mother's come back in.
She's the barometer for whether things are going well or poorly. Okay. So my second resolution was to try new games. Sports sims.
New types of games.
Yes, exactly. Like Sports Sims was an example. The Sims, if that came to Switch, was an example. You
kind of rebought a couple games this year, right? Like Diablo and Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so I feel like this is another one that I did not do particularly good at. Like I would say I failed at this. I did play new types of games. Again, Labo's potentially saving both of us on this, but it's not like I like sought them out.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't like challenge myself by being like, I'm going to learn how to play tactical military simulations.
Yeah, or
an
NHL game or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And so no, I would say no. At this point, I'm kind of looking for a receipt for golden gamer gloves. I feel like I'm not sure that's one of the things that once you take it out of the box.
Yeah, well, and I mean, you've been wearing them this whole time, and I'm keeping it warm in the apartment because it's kind of cold outside. I'm sure you are sweating in those gold gloves.
All right.
And now your father is. So long, Mr. Mitchell.
Oh, Dad, come on.
All right.
So so neither of mine so far.
Okay, so we are both 0 for 2 at this point. My third resolution for 2018 was to figure out my relationship with Amiibo. Now, this is one where I just had to decide.
Yeah.
Am I an Amiibo collector? Do I buy every Amiibo that comes out? Or can I just like cut it off and be like, okay, enough is enough?
Yeah, or are you in between? Or are you just like a casual Amiibo fan?
Right.
Do you buy the ones that tickle your fancy? Do you let the other ones go to waste?
To waste, you say? This is one where I feel like I got closer than anything else that we've mentioned so far. I still am sort of on the like collector side of having a casual relationship with them. I think there's only a handful of Amiibo that came out this year that I didn't buy. I didn't buy the Smash Inkling Girl. And there must have. I'm trying to remember what all Amiibo came out this year.
The Solar of Astoria.
Oh yeah, whatever. I did not get
from Dark Souls.
The Dark Souls Amiibo.
Also, this was a lighter year for Amiibo. It feels like.
Yeah. But like at present, I do not have the forthcoming Smash Amiibo pre-ordered. I bought Wolf and Ridley, but like the Piranha Plant and Pichu and Young Link. But those are characters that are intriguing to me. I probably will end up buying some of them. But I guess I am a little bit at peace with my. I'm not like a hardcore collector of them, but I'm not. I have more than a casual interest in them. I think one place where I may have confused myself or like taken some clarity away was when Starlink came out, and I bought the starter set and was momentarily very excited about the R-Wing and these toys. And these aren't Amiibo, but I, for a brief moment, was like, I could buy a couple more of these and have just like one more ship or two more ships and a couple more pilots, and then ended up like not buying any of them, and I sort of stopped playing Starlink altogether. So that's not Amiibo, but like it's not Amiibo. And I did not figure out my relationship with it. So I would say this is one that I maybe got 25% on, maybe, and that might be generous. We may just want to chalk it up as a no. What do you think, Mark?
I don't know. I feel like, well, I'll let you call it because you're the one that had to figure out your relationship with Amiibo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll give myself a half point on this.
Okay, all right. So this next one,
right?
I'm cracking my knuckles because I'm feeling pretty good.
Can you hear them through the gold gamer gloves?
No, it muffles sound marvelously. Play games in new ways.
Yeah, so this was what, in regard to like speedrunning stuff, or
No, it was like in an RPG,
Mhm.
don't always play a mage or don't always, play a stealth character.
Yeah, sure.
Like be evil in a Bethesda RPG. You know,
Sure.
like do
Yeah,
the
yeah.
things in games that I normally don't do because I'm very worried about like experiencing them in a very precise way. It's like going to a restaurant and ordering that you've been to before and just ordering the same thing over and over because you're like, well, I know I like this, so I'm just going to order the stealthy mage.
Right.
So I would say that I made a conscious effort to do this sometimes. And when I did, for the most part, it was like a positive experience, but it is a little uncomfortable. Like it's
Yeah, for sure.
surprisingly uncomfortable, especially when we've talked about a ton of times, we don't have a lot of free time to play video games.
Right.
And so when you do, it's a comfort thing. You want to play, you want to have fun, and it is very comfortable to just play how I've always played them. So this one, I feel like I didn't fully achieve.
So this may be another partial credit, is what you're saying?
Yeah, because I tried and like I did it a few times, but
What do you think were your big successes in playing games different ways?
I think when we were playing and of like the Diablo 3 that we played, I chose like a different class than I normally do. So that was a big one. I got Eevee instead of Pikachu in Pokemon Let's Go. I don't want to pat myself on the back too hard for that one.
Right. Right, you're gonna
Especially with these
wear the
heavy
finish
gold
off those
gloves.
Okay, so you half point on that one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
At
so
least like A for effort.
Sure. A C for achievement.
Execution.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are both 0.5 out of 3 at the moment. My final solo resolution for 2018, it just says Earthbound here. I don't really remember what this resolution was.
I was listening to this episode earlier. And I think it was that you were going to play through Earthbound.
Did not happen. I have access to this game on the Super NES Classic. I have access to it on the new 3DS. I have not played it. The last time I played this game was in my friend Ryan's childhood bedroom. We were both children at the time. And I don't remember much of it. I did a poor job of even psyching myself up to play Earthbound. So, nope, absolute failure on this one for me.
So I don't think the mics are picking it up, but my entire family at this point is like lightly chanting Mark.
Right. Yeah.
They're very
I
excited.
think we're getting some of it because they're seeing the writing on the wall. They know that if you achieved your next goal in any capacity, that you will walk away with $1 million. We do still have a shared resolution to get to after this. But let's see how you did.
See here, pulling out my opera glasses just a moment. I have rich eyes now, so it's more difficult to see things.
And those are gold as well?
Yeah. Yes.
Can you see through the gold lenses?
You can't really, but like it doesn't matter when you're wealthy.
Right, you don't need to see good when you look good.
Too true. Okay, so here it is. This is unfortunate. Get into fan translations.
Oh.
I'm recalling it now. My resolution, of course, was to get into fan translations.
So
play games.
What did you think you meant with this?
I like games that were never localized in English.
Sure, get your Seiken Densetsu 3.
Yeah,
Mother 3.
Exactly. Find those fan translations, figure out how to hatch them into the game so I could experience Police Knots, for instance,
Yeah. Now this is one, while I didn't get into any fan translations myself, like of games, I did get really into the Kotaku video series on the translation localization of Final Fantasy VII. And that was very interesting, and I liked that a lot. But I didn't actually play any games that with fan translations.
I mean, yeah,
you didn't even do that.
I didn't do any of this. I also, after you brought it up on one of our shows, the Found in Translation video series that Tim Rogers did for Kotaku.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I watched a couple of episodes of that, but yeah, I didn't do this at all.
Okay. Well, your family has straight up vanished. I didn't even see them leave the room, but they are not here anymore.
Yeah, that's disappointing for all of us.
Okay, so at this point, we are tied 0.5 to 0.5, and we have one more resolution to go. It is one that we shared. We had a stated goal to play the original Final Fantasy together because we played a little bit of it on the NES Classic. And Mark, how did we do on that one?
I don't think we turned it on.
I don't think we turned it on.
I don't know that we brought it up ever. Maybe joking in June that like, oh, right, we made that one of our resolutions. We will definitely get to that in the next 6 months. But
right, but instead we played East of West for a while or something. Okay, so,
I mean, I guess we exchange $1 million.
Okay, well, I brought this giant check.
I was gonna, if I can find my mom, I'll ask if I can.
They're gone,
it.
Mark. Your family is gone. They will likely never speak to you again.
Oh, sorry, I'm just gonna rip a piece of paper.
Are you gonna write an IOU?
I'm gonna write an IOU. I'm good for it.
Why don't you just give me the gold gloves and I'll give you this giant check? Is that fair? How much did you pay for those things?
$999,999.99.
All right, I'll make that trade. I'll make that trade right now.
Okay, hold on.
All right, great.
Sorry, these are really heavy.
Yeah.
But exchange.
Oh my God. That is heavy and sounds a lot like flesh hitting glass. All right, Mark, those are our resolutions from 2018. I think it makes sense now that we not set resolutions for 2019. What do you think?
I think so too. What a nightmare resolutions are.
Yeah, I mean, are you like elsewhere in your life setting resolutions for the new year?
No, I'm not a sucker.
You aren't not a sucker though.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, neither am I. Okay, so how do we wrap up the year that is 2018 without, looking ahead to the new year?
Well, we could talk about the games that we enjoyed playing.
Let's do that. We both made little lists of games that we enjoyed playing this year. Mark, why don't you start us off?
Okay, so my list, is just games that maybe they didn't come out this year.
Okay.
But I played them, or I played them a lot, or I played them more, and they're games I just really enjoyed in 2018. My first one is Katamari Damacy Reroll.
Yeah.
Sneak it in right here at the end of 2018.
Oh, I've got a sneaker.
I've been playing it for the past week or so. And, man, it's just... I never played Katamari Damacy before. It's really fun. It's a really, really good game. Everything about it is, like, playful. It feels like a Nintendo game that's not on a Nintendo platform.
Sure.
Basically. Or that was not developed by Nintendo.
Right.
It has a very simple mechanic that is challenging but rewarding. The music is amazing. The design is amazing. It's very fun and playful. It doesn't take itself seriously. It's basically everything I like in video games.
Right.
And I'm really, really glad that I had an opportunity to play it.
That's great. My squeaking in at the end of the year here is Guacamelee 2. Which, as long as we're both talking about games that we just talked about in the last episode. I really liked Guacamelee 2. I thought its jokes were better. I thought the platforming was better. It was maybe even a tighter experience. I feel like I probably ended up sinking, closer to a dozen hours into the original just to get through the campaign. And this one was just a lot neater than that. There is a portion in this game where you go into it's all about going into different timelines and different universes, and there's one timeline that is the dankest timeline, where the first game was criticized in some circles for having like meme humor in it. And this is just full of like dumb, bad memes.
Like doubling down on it.
Yeah, just way doubling down on it. And then there are all these like NPCs in there who they clearly just went to message boards and YouTube comments and took the usernames and like the criticisms that people were like, "Oh, is that dumb game with the memes? That's was it played out in 2014 or whatever." And just like put that dialogue in these characters' mouths. So just like A, doubling down on it, and B, making fun of the people who were like, "I'm not going to play that game because it's got stupid jokes in it." And boy, did I love that. Like, it's just so self-aware and just so fun. If I love Drinkbox as a studio. They make good games. The last 3 of them that I've played have all been great, both Guacameles and Severed. So that's that for me right here at the end of the year was a great game.
So my next is Pokemon Let's Go Eevee.
Yeah.
I talked about it. Oh, I've talked about it a lot. We had like a whole episode on it. But basically, it's, for me, the perfect Pokemon game. We talked about how it's fairly short, like it's fairly condensed. I haven't finished it yet, but I have enjoyed it, like the clip that it goes through the story. It's very soothing. Like, I like just being in the world of this game. I love that there's no random battles. I like the new Pokemon catch mechanic where you don't have to whittle down their health, where it's just like the Pokemon Go type thing. I am more interested in the Let's Go series if it becomes multiple games than I am in a full mainline Pokemon game at this point.
Yeah, well, that's really interesting. But I think that makes sense. Like, that it doesn't like Pokemon's never to me really felt like a stressful series, but like some of the demands that the series can make, like normally can make on a player, are pretty extreme, and like you got to juggle a lot of things in your head, even if the RPG mechanics are pretty straightforward. And it's nice to see them kind of lean into the like, nah, you know what, just hang out and have fun, collecting Pokemon.
Yeah, and it really amplifies the stuff that I like about Pokemon and de-emphasizes de-emphasizes the things I don't really care about.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, I think that's evident from the little bit of time I've spent with it as well. And the next game on my list is also the big Nintendo game at the end of the year, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Holy cow, unlocking all the characters in this game has been a blast. I'm really enjoying World of Light. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm very much enjoying this game, and it is everything that I sort of wanted a Smash Brothers game to be.
Yeah. I completely agree. It made my list in like an honorable mention type capacity, only because it does feel like the perfect Smash Brothers game, which is amazing. That is a marvel.
Right. But you're like, we've had Smash Brothers games before.
A little bit.
Yeah. And I get that. But for me, the way that they've been able to sort of like balance everything in a way where the game is so full of content, and the fact that every character seems viable to me is very exciting. And even the characters that should feel very samey, like Link to young Link, they play so differently now that, like, I don't know, the variety seems true, and it seems like it's all valid. Like, I was playing as Pichu the other day, and like, that's great playing as Pichu. Like, he's kind of a joke character who hurts himself every time he uses a special move, and like, it's just been a satisfying experience for me on every level, and I know that I'm going to be playing it forever.
Yeah, it really is a game that feels like it shouldn't be able to exist.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's going to be DLC for this thing too. I'm excited, so excited to see what it's going to be like playing the game next year.
So my next game is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. This is another game that has existed in the world for quite some time.
Yes,
but and we even did an episode on it when we played it on the Wii U. Mm-hmm. This is my first time going through it solo and making it from the beginning to the end. And man, like, it's such an amazing game.
Yeah. Where are you playing the funky mode at all?
No, I did not. I mean, I did try a little bit of the funky mode, and it's it's great for some of like the more challenging levels if you're
Yeah.
like, and it's not a win button. Like when the platforming gets hard, funky mode won't entirely save you.
Right.
But
You still got to kind of play it.
yeah, it does definitely make things easier. No, I've been mostly playing as a like Donkey Diddy combination.
Classic.
Or no, sorry, not Diddy.
Oh.
Dixie.
Less classic.
I like her little extra like jump.
Oh yeah, that she's
she
got like
has.
that extra little arc to it.
Yeah, I find it very helpful. But man, like again, the platforming is great.
Music's phenomenal.
The music is incredible.
Yeah.
It's the complete package.
Yeah. Well, what a great game, and I'm happy you mentioned it. Next on my list is Mega Man 11, a game that I feel like came and went in the sort of gaming sphere without too much conversation, and maybe even a little bit of disappointment. That like the game did something new in the gear system, but not like actually super new. Like it still feels very much like an 8-bit Mega Man game. But man, I love 8-bit Mega Man games, and the design of this game is so good and so smart, and the levels are enormous. Like there's just, I don't know, there's a lot of content here, and I love the way the game looks. I'm super excited to see what Mega Man 12 will look like. If it's just this again with 8 new Robot Masters, I'm there. And like, I don't know, everything, all the levels have so much personality, and like weird little stories woven into the background of like what's actually happening. And I just really, really liked Mega Man 11. Was 100% satisfied with it.
A little bit of a retro platformer that I really enjoyed, or retro style anyways, was Celeste.
Mm-hmm.
Like another game has amazing music. It's like a theme for my games that I really enjoyed this
Mark
year.
Just needs amazing music.
It helps a lot. Celeste is... Two things I really liked about Celeste. The platforming is really satisfying. It's another one where the mechanics are very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Like the game doesn't pile on abilities or anything like that. It's basically like you can jump, double jump, and cling to walls, and then eventually you can like jump multiple times. That's pretty much it that I remember. And the game is super challenging, which I normally don't go for.
Yeah.
But it's challenging in like a satisfying and fun way. And yes, I did have to turn on the assist mode at the very end because I got so frustrated with one jump really close to the end that I was just like, whatever.
Give it to me.
I just need to finish this game. But it's really fair in its difficulty, I feel like, even when it is frustrating because I'm not executing well. And also, it has a really interesting story that normally in video games I don't care about the story at all, but this one it doesn't overstay its welcome. When it has like the story moments or the cutscenes, they're brief, they're to the point, but the brevity doesn't like sacrifice any of the emotional aspects of it.
Yeah.
And it's a really incredible game.
So Celeste is on my list of games that I didn't get into but regret not getting into. I never purchased it or even really tried it, even though I only hear good things about it, and from you specifically. But it was one of those things, maybe it was coming out around a time that there were like other games or something like that, where I was like, Mark's got this one. But that is a 2018 game that I expect to talk about in 2019. I guess on a similar like retro throwback line, I was going to talk about The Messenger at some point here. Loved The Messenger. I love the switch from the Ninja Gaiden style gameplay to a more open world like Metroidvania thing that happens like halfway through. I think the game is paced exceptionally well. Because by the time that I was heading to the final boss, I had already like 100%ed everything. There was no there was a lot of content in the game, but it didn't feel like any of it was going back after I'd already finished it, right? And there's the free DLC pack that's coming out this year. This is another game that has great music and awesome art and super good writing. Is funny all the way through. I really, really like The Messenger.
Another game on my list, Super Mario Odyssey. So
okay,
yeah, little bit of a cheat maybe. The thing is, when we played it when it was originally released, I liked it, but
also hated it.
No, I didn't hate it, but I just didn't. I don't know. Didn't find the joy in it that I found in the Galaxy games.
Yeah, sure.
Which was kind of what I was hoping for. That this would be like what Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is, where this is like the ultimate Mario game.
Yeah.
And it was missing some of that for me. And it wasn't until the past few months that I've returned to it when we ranked the kingdoms, when we but yeah, specifically like when we ranked the kingdoms, that I was just playing around in the different areas. I had finished the game, and so like a bunch of new moons had shown up in every level. And I think part of it was that I was taking it at a slower pace instead of just trying to like shotgun through it. And part of it was maybe just like the mindset I was in. I don't really know. I don't really know how to explain it, but I am appreciating that game on levels that I wasn't appreciating it before.
Yeah, sure.
And so, man, it's a really good game, and all the stuff I loved about it before is still there. And some of the stuff that I didn't like about it as much, like I felt like some of the worlds were too empty, and I felt like I was missing some of like the more course-based Mario platforming. For whatever reason, that the stuff that bothered me about it the first time, now that I'm returning to it like a year later, I don't see them as flaws anymore.
Yeah. Well, and I do think that some of that course-based platforming stuff is present in the game when you like start going back for the moons that unlock after you beat Bowser.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. What do I have left here on my list? Oh, Overcooked 2. Not really much to say about this other than the original Overcooked is great, and it was great on Switch, and the sequel is great on Switch. The one thing that like holds me back from being even more enthusiastic about Overcooked 2 is that it is a game that stresses me out, and you have to play it with another person. So like, you get stressed out and you're playing with another person. I'm always playing with Sarah, basically. And she's very good at it, and I'm very good at it, and it just means that we both have to be. It's a game where you're on, right? It is the anti-Pokemon Let's Go, right? It is a stressful experience, and like wonderful when you're doing it, and wonderful when you're like yelling at each other and laughing. But yeah, I have to like work myself up to like, all right, Patrick, get ready. You're gonna play Overcooked 2 now. So yeah. Solid recommend on that.
My last one is a game that is very old, but I really only played for the first time this year thanks to the NES Switch Online. It is Dr. Mario.
Dr. Mario.
What a great game.
It is such a good game. Again, music is wonderful.
Music is wonderful, both chill and whatever the other one is. Fever.
Yeah.
I was going to say hot.
I mean, stick with the chill, but
they're both good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am not super into puzzle games, or if somebody was like, Mark, are you into puzzle games? I would not say yes, absolutely. But it's addicting. Again, the mechanics are easy, but it's challenging.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
Dr. Mario,
game.
Yeah, is basically a perfect game. What a great pick. My last on my list of games that I loved playing this year could also go on my other list of like games that I want to get back to badly. Octopath Traveler, man, the presentation of that game and like the combat in that game were so cool and so satisfying.
I totally forgot it came out this year.
Right? It's and like I know it suffers from having too much dialogue, right? And like, it is a game that definitely puts you in a place where you're like, I'd like to skip this part of the story. You know, it says as you're collecting the 8 characters initially, like, do you want to skip this first chapter? And at first I was like, no, man, never skip the first chapter. Play it all. After like 3 of those, I was like, yeah, skip the first.
I can't skip it fast enough.
I cannot skip it fast enough. But like everything about the way the game actually plays is so good and so perfect. And like the leveling system with the jobs and how they learn skills is just so satisfying. That's a game that I badly want to get back to.
Yeah, I similarly enjoyed my time with it, and haven't made it to the 3rd chapter for any character, so I
Yeah.
know I still have a ways to go. And yeah, I should get back into it too.
I wonder if that is a game that will be easy to pick back up or impossible.
I can't even remember where I was heading to.
No, I don't remember any of the characters' names. Cyrus, is that one?
Alfie?
Are you through with your list? So I also have, like I said, games that I want to get back to. I already mentioned, or get to or get back to. I already mentioned Celeste. Into the Breach is that really tight, 5x5 grid, turn-based strategy game where everything, like every turn, like the whole map changes and like it's chaotic and it's so cool. The art style is awesome, and the whole concept or the whole premise of the game is that you're sending one dude back in time every time you die to like try and fix it to like save the earth again. Just so super cool, and I liked it a lot, and I don't really know why I played it for a weekend and then never went back. It is on, if I were making resolutions, and I have learned my lesson, so I am not, it would be to play more Into the Breach in 2019. Starlink Battle for Atlas I've got on this list.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I want to get back to it, if only to give it another shot. I'm not going to now like make I want to get to it and play through it. I want to just like go to it again and sink another couple hours into it and see if it grabs me. And if it does or if it doesn't, either way is fine. It's just such an interesting game and a weird concept, and it loves me the Star Fox. So like, yeah. Also on this list are Dead Cells and Hollow Knight. Was such a good, crazy year for indie games coming to Switch, and these are all like the kind of indie game that I want to play, and like that 10 years ago, it's like, why don't they make games like this anymore? And then 2018 was like, here's Celeste, Dead Cells, Hollow Knight, Guacamelee 2, Mega Man 11, and The Messenger.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll play half of those.
Yeah, indie developers were also like, why don't they make those anymore? Oh, I will just do it.
Yeah, so that's all of those games want to get back to. Mark, did you play any games on not Nintendo platforms this year?
I actually don't really think I did this year.
I only played a few. God of War, which was great, and Detroit Become Human, which I like despite its flaws. And then I picked up a PlayStation VR unit this year, and have really been enjoying Moss, and I've got Astrobot Rescue Mission waiting. I haven't tried it yet. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I think a good year for games. It's maybe a little weird coming off the Switch's 2017, which had like two of the greatest games ever made, and then a bunch of other really good ones.
Yeah, it feels, especially for Nintendo, like a quieter year. But looking back on, I actually really enjoyed compiling this list because there were a lot of great games that I played and kind of forgot about.
Yeah. I had Kirby Star Allies on my list until, as we were talking, I was just like, I'm going to take that off. But I did. I really liked playing that game, and playing it multiplayer was super fun. And
yeah, I think that was my mistake, is I have never played it multiplayer. I played it solo, and I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I put like Mario Tennis Aces in that same category.
Yep.
Where it's like, this is a game I played. I liked it, or I maybe even liked playing Mario Tennis Aces more than I liked Kirby Star Allies, but neither of them are something I've like returned to.
Yeah, Tennis Aces feels to me like like it just got such good. The content of it is so good, it's just not quite packaged in a way that is.
Yeah, and I found the mechanics really fun.
Yeah, mechanics are awesome.
I think part of it was I've had such trouble getting online with that game for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So like I couldn't participate in the tournaments, and so I just kind of lost interest after a while.
So those were our favorite games from 2018. What were yours? We would love to know all of that, because look, we didn't play all the games.
Yeah, and actually, sorry, I'm gonna put one honorable mention is Labo.
Yeah,
it's another one that I'd like forget about, but when we are playing it, when we were building them together, it was so much fun. Such a cool experience.
And we should go back and because there's still a bunch of the 2 kits that I have that we never finished because it takes a long time to build them. All right, great. Mark, let us close out this segment here. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society.
I think before I interrupted you before, you were going to solicit from listeners what their favorite games of 2018 were.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that anymore. No, you should email us at nintendocartridgesociety@gmail.com. And, you can also rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. That helps us out a bunch. If you would like to share this episode with anyone, people are going to want to know how our $1 million bet shook out. And Mark's parents were a guest on this show, although we didn't get them on mic, did we?
No, unfortunately.
Oh, they were here, and the rest of your family,
and my extended family.
Yeah, they were all here, all in the room, and I don't think we got any of them on mic,
which is really disappointing. I do think we got the sound of my golden gamer gloves, though.
That's right. That's right. Well, anyway, you should share the episode regardless, perhaps with your extended family or someone who wants golden gamer gloves. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Patrick_Ellers. Mark is at MKE Mitchell. Collectively, we are at NinCart Society. The show is also on Facebook. That's just Nintendo Cartridge Society. Olivia Duncan made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Ellers folding a giant check as many times as I possibly can and saying thanks for listening.
Hey, do you like Christmas?
Uh-huh.
Do you like Christmas movies, good or bad?
Yeah.
Do you like podcasts?
Yes.
Do you want a podcast that reviews awesome Christmas movies that a lot of people think that are bad?
Yes!
Well, Ross, you're in this podcast.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you're co-hosting this podcast with me, Jackie.
Let's do it!
And we have special guests. It's called Most Wonderful Pod of the Year, brought to you by Campfire Media.
Oh, I love it.
So you can subscribe to it on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, I'm going right now. Here's my phone.
Merry Christmas. Let's ring in the holiday.
Campfire.